Hi, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the 2021 5-door Mini, which is codenamed the F55. Okay, so with the doors and the boot lid open, the obvious differences are straight there. So you have the additional rear doors on this model, giving it the two front, two rear, and the hatch, giving it a 5-door configuration. So that's the first obvious change over the 3-door model. Another one is the fact we now have framed doors on front and rear, as opposed to frameless doors, on the 3-door model. So obviously this gives a little bit more strength as well. Wheelbase slightly longer on this car to accommodate the room for the additional door, and the front door is shorter than the 3-door, and you get this little short rear door as well. So as you can see from this angle, both doors don't open terribly wide, so it would be of assistance in car parks. In the rear, it is an ample boot for a car of this size. If I fold this forward, so this distance from here to here is the same as in the 3-door hatch, so you're actually achieving an extra, what's that, about 4 inches of boot space. So it is a bit of a difference as that as well. We just nip into the rear. We have additional seat belt here, so this is actually a 3-seat configuration as opposed to only 2 in the 3-door model, as you can see. And obviously front doors don't recline forward. Okay, so now we're on board the 5-door. So the first obvious difference between the 3 and the 5-door is that down here in the door we have additional switches for the rear window controls. So we have front window controls and rear window controls here in the door. As you move across the car, we're greeted with this lovely leather-bound sports steering wheel. In this particular edition, this is a Cooper S John Cooper Works. So we have the John Cooper Works steering wheel with a little badge down below here and the lovely red stitching. As with all Mini range, with this particular configuration, we have our speedo directly in front of us, with our rev counter to the left and fuel indication level on the right hand side. Switchgear is exactly the same as in the 3-door hatch, wiper controls on the right and lights controls on the left, with a trip computer on the end of the indicator stock. Into the centre then, we are greeted with the usual Mini infotainment screen. This model here is the XL, however it does not have sat-nav, which is an option. The vents on either side are slightly different in this facelift model as they were to my wife's 3-door. Down below then we have our heater controls, temperature and fan speed, and then down below here we have, on this particular model, we've got heated seats for both sides, our air conditioning controls, recirculation controls, heated rear window, unfortunately no heated front window in this car, and max clear. Below that then again we have our traction control on off switch. We have our start and stop button, which also indicates the immobilizer in this little heartbeat glow here. And then to the left of that we have our auto stop start turn off switch for there. Down below then we have our 12-volt with our aux cable. Down below, and USB, a little cubby hole here with 2 cup holders, exactly the same as the previous car. This model has the 6-speed manual, which is standard across the range. This car is also available in an automatic, which I believe has also got paddle shifts. Obviously not fitted to this car. Standard handbrake, and then here we have the BMW inspired controller for the infotainment system here on board, with a good little armrest here and space for your phone, and this does fold away. Seats in this particular model, being John Cooper Works, we have the bucket sports seats. Really hug you in, very comfortable car. We had this car to County Fermanagh today, and very comfortable car and not very tiring on a long journey, at least in the front. So let's jump into the back and see what it's like in there. Okay, so here we're in the back of the Mini. I've had to push the seat forward out of my driving position because I just wasn't going to be getting in here behind me. But I am 6'3". For shorter adults and driving, I would have plenty of room behind here. The seats do dig in from my knees, and there's a bit of space under the seat for my feet. So for shorter adults and for kids, probably wouldn't be a huge issue. I mean, this seat is set for me, and yeah, kids and shorter adults would be grand in here in the back. We do have little map pockets in the back of both seats in this particular model. Again, we have electric window controls in both doors, and we have a speaker in both doors here, and a little pocket as well, basically echoing the same as the front doors in shape and in design. And here we have grab handle on both sides. We have little map reading lights up here, and in the back we have a cup holder for the rear passengers to share. This is technically 3 seats across here. There is a third seat belt here, but it wouldn't be the biggest space here for adults. So 3 adults may be a little bit of a pinch here, but for kids it mightn't be too bad. Again, there's Isofix on the 2 outer seats. We did have our child's Isofix in here for our trip down. It did fit quite well. We did have to move the seat forward a little bit, which I have to do in my daily drive safely on as well. We did find, unfortunately, the door didn't really open as wide as we would like it to. Probably just our car seat, maybe a little bit bigger than most, but we were able to get him in and get him connected into his Isofix space, no problem at all. Just a little bit bigger wouldn't have hurt, but that was just for our particular case. There are seat belts for all 3 seats here as well, and headroom is pretty good. I'm very happy with headroom in here, and it's not terribly confined in here. I have a bit of room. If, of course, in my position, we had my wife maybe driving or something, I would have plenty of room in here in the back. But yeah, the seat's quite sits quite forward on it, but it's not an uncomfortable seat by any means. Plenty of support there for my legs, and yeah, it's quite a nice place to be. Opening the boot couldn't be any easier either. This is the switch just behind the mini badge, and it opens up on its power struts there as well, revealing a relatively decent sized boot. Okay, so those are the main feature differences between the 3-door and the 5-door Mini. So let's just take a quick look around this particular car. This is, as I said, the Cooper S John Cooper Works Edition, so it has some nice little features over and above a standard car. We start around the front of the car. The very first obvious thing showing this is Cooper S is the air vent here, taking air into the intercooler there for the larger turbo. We have, of course, the honeycomb grille with the chrome strike bar. That does come in varying colours as well, and of course the S script. This particular car, too, being John Cooper Works, has the John Cooper Works front bumper fitted. We come around the sides. This one has the black 17-inch John Cooper Works wheels. Obviously we have our Cooper S badging there in the wing. Around the tie we have this rather large ducktail spoiler. Obviously the S monogram there on the back, and tucked into the John Cooper Works rear bumper we have the twin center exhausts. So this is totally depicting Cooper S. Okay, some nice little features on this. The facelift version of the Generation 3 cars are these fantastic taillights. They're heritage taillights or Union Jacks with the Mini logo just there on them. So they incorporate tail, brake, and I think this is the indicator. It's a little strip here, and then obviously reverse nitrogen incorporated into it with the fog lights down into the bumper. Lifting the bonnet in the usual way on the Mini reveals the 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, which is standard fit in all Cooper S's. This one, as I said earlier, is made into a 6-speed manual gearbox. Now this will propel the Cooper S to 60 miles an hour in 6.1 seconds. It has got 228 brake horsepower and 236 pounds-foot of torque, and will take the car to 153 miles per hour. Another feature of the facelifted 3rd generation Minis are these headlights. So we now have a halo daytime running light, which actually will dim whenever you put the indicator on, and then the indicator is also incorporated in that as well. And we have in this model these xenon headlights, which we drove in the dark last night in it, and they are an amazing job. And again, fog lights are set down into the front bumper. Mirror caps on the facelift model. are a little more squared off than they are on the pre-facelift model, as you can see, and maybe slightly bigger as well. Okay, so that's my very quick review of the Mini 5-door hatchback. I've been very lucky to have been lent this car for a couple of days. We were considering buying one of these to replace our 3-door, just so we got a lent of one just to see would it work for our purposes. So yeah, it's been a lovely car to drive for a couple of days. So yeah, we've a bit of thinking to do now, and a bit of sums and head scratching to see will we go for one of these in the future. So yeah, thanks very much for watching the video again. Remember to like and subscribe as all usual, and put comments below and so on, and we'll see you in the next one.